Sonja Kruse had a dream to walk across South Africa, connecting with its people and documenting stories of Ubuntu, of connectedness and goodwill. She wanted to show South Africa beyond its headlines. So she quit her job, gave her car away, and within 3 weeks was on a 13,000-kilometer journey across the country.
When you walk, you're very upright and you walk in a special way. Can you teach me how? I want to know how the Ubuntu girl walks.
I mean, the whole thing with Ubuntu, it's about connectedness. And sometimes when we walk disconnected. Different parts of our bodies are disconnected. It's just becoming aware of the placement of every foot and to become aware of every muscle in your body as it moves. I mean, the South Americans believe that when you put your foot down, you're actually saying thank you. You actually have to say thank you with every foot falling. And so just being grateful for the fact that you can walk.
Sonja's leap of faith was to action her dream, to start walking and to stick to it, despite other people's fears and efforts to protect her.
Every day there was an objection. You can't do this. Our country is too dangerous. This will happen to you. So eventually when one of my friends at the lodge, Tabasile, she said to me, you really are going to do this? And I said to her, yes. And she said, well, that means that you're going to go and look for the spirit of Ubuntu. And that's when I became known as the Ubuntu girl.
1 backpack, 1 camera, 2 pairs of sandals, 300 days, over 100 host families, and just 100 rand.
I was staying with a friend in East London and she was devastated. She was saying, okay, so you're going to do this thing and there's nothing that I can say that is going to convince you not to do this. So am I just going to watch you walk out my front door? I said to her, yes. So I decided to go to a taxi rank and this one lady looked at me and she said to me, come to my house tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. And so the next morning at 10 o'clock I went to go to Normie's house and they had baked a carrot cake for me. And they had made a pot of tea for me. They don't know me from a bar of soap. And she said, okay, here you are. Go knock on people's doors. And I went knocking on a door and Punza who lives with her 2 children in Scenery Park Township, said it's not a problem, you can live with us. They have a double room. And that evening, Punza made a bed for herself on the floor and she allowed me, a stranger, the honor of sleeping in the bed with her 2 children. And Normie had to go back to East London without me. And in that first day I realized, everything's going to be fine. South Africans are my plan. South Africans are my backup plan. South Africans are my safety net. And South Africans wanted the story to succeed every step of the way.
Sonja had completed her journey safely, with surprisingly few negative experiences. The country and its huge heart had protected her. And now she's working on her book with a team at the King James Advertising Agency.
Obviously on the journey, walking already had images flooding into my head of what the book must look like. And people along the way would actually tell me, like there's a non-chapter chapter that was born in somebody's home.
What's a non-chapter chapter?
Well, they wanted me to write a whole chapter about the mattress that I slept on. And
Who did?
The family that I was staying with. It's a cockhat. Don't you guys know about a cockhat? It's a Kaapse Hoop Aksie Komitee, KHAK. And it's a project by some ladies in Kaapse Hoop, which, if my memory serves me right, Kaapse Hoop is over there near Nelspruit and White River.
How many pairs of shoes did you go through?
I set off with 2 pairs of shoes. People would help me along the way. I mean, I love walking in sandals. I don't like closed shoes. And the one lady in the Free State, she was saying it's coming into winter. And so she gave me money to buy shoes. She gave me a lot of money. She said, I don't want you to go to a discount store. I want you to go to a proper outdoor store and to buy proper walking shoes.
The walk is over, and Sonja now lives in Cape Town. Her current housemate, Liani, is someone she met during her journey.
So how did your meeting with King James go?
It's so exciting. They came back with a new option, but they didn't want to share it today.
I know.
Yeah, so they said that they're keeping me in suspenders.
I met Sonja the first time in Napier and she was busy with her year of travel. We were all sitting on the porch, we were on holiday, and here comes this red-headed, fiery woman, barefoot, and we start talking and At some point it comes out that she doesn't have any shoes. I think she'd worn out her shoes. So I obviously get her a pair of slip-slops immediately. And I still say to her, you must keep them, don't worry about it. I can buy myself a pair at Pep the next day.
So for 11 and a half months you travelled all the way across South Africa, right? Did you walk the whole way?
South Africans wouldn't let me. The total distance was 13,685 kilometers. But I only walked about 2,000 of that. The first time that I hitchhiked along the journey was when I was staying in Zwelindile village in rural Eastern Cape. The family that I was staying with, Nontando, walked with me towards the road. We got about 50 meters from the road, and she looked at me and she said, I'm a mafuta. And if the cars are going to drive past and they're going to see this mafuta, which means a big lady or big person, standing at the side of the road, they're not going to stop for you. So I'm leaving you here. With the help of Nontando, we made a sign that said PA for Port Alfred.
Sonja had always dreamed of the connectedness between people and of community standing together as one. In a country that's an example to all but still has ongoing challenges, Sonja cut through the stereotypes and touched people's hearts. In turn, they gifted her with mementos to remember their time together.
This is a Punjabi. The Pillay family and the Nair family who I was staying with wanted me to have this when I went to the temple with them, to a Hindu temple. And so I wore this, and when it was finished, they didn't want to take it back. So there I was, left Verulam with a rock and a Punjabi in my backpack.
As you do.
Amongst other things, and bright bean salad serving spoons, and a Swiss Army knife, which I didn't leave with, and a crystal from the Kalahari, and an aura from Orania. Orania was not on my list. I mean, I didn't have a route set out, but it wouldn't have been one of the places that I would see myself going. And I met Portia Mahange, and when I said to her that there are places in South Africa I won't go to, like Orania, she was saying to me, you know what, Sonja, you've decided to go on this journey, so you have to keep an open mind. People of Orania are people of our country. And if you're looking for the spirit of Ubuntu, you'll also find it there. And I had the most phenomenal experiences there, and people opened their hearts and their homes. And I mean, I had the best vet cook there. I stood next to a cook sister, and the families there would explain to me why it is that they were living there. It wasn't up to me to come up with those reasons. And at the end of my 4 days there, I phoned Portia, and I said to her, Portia, you were right, and I was wrong, and thank you for reminding me to keep an open mind.
Tell me about these and what happened with your diaries. Look at your writing.
Yeah, I mean, it's very small because I had to carry it all. But can you imagine if I had to have these big notebooks with these big handwriting in it? And the idea was also, I mean, I didn't have many, but even if I did, I didn't want to buy a notebook. I wanted each notebook to have its own story. And there are five notebooks. And then this little one, for example, is a girl that gave this to me, and she wrote a little letter in the front.
I wish you well on your adventures around this exquisite rainbow nation ! This is so lovely, and hope that one day I'll be able to read your book, so you're going to take a book to her.
Yeah, I am.
How cool is that? And even try to imagine what an outstanding time you had.
As I moved from family to family, it was like those stories of hope and love were carried in the palms of my hands, and those stories had the energy that moved me, propelled me forward, and that people were drawn to. So it wasn't about me. I was the custodian of the stories. And I think for me, this is what God means now too, is at times it felt like I was the road and the person walking it at the same time. So there's no borders, there are no limitations to that energy, and it's something that flows, and it's not something that is controlled by me. It is something that I'm merely the carrier of.
But it wasn't always easy, and at the 6-month mark, Sonja hit her lowest ebb ever. She felt like quitting. She was connecting with so many people, but sometimes the physical toll was just too much.
I really almost quit. I decided that that's it. What am I doing? Who the hell do I think I am? What the hell do I think I'm doing? And what is this internal voice anyway? And can't stop. And I was exhausted. I had walked that entire week for about 30 kilometers a day. I hadn't eaten that much. And I just felt, why is nobody else building social bridges? Where is everybody else? And I just felt isolated and really sorry for myself.
And during times when I felt that I was too tired, I had a simple dialogue to help reset my attitude. Sonja, you will put your ego aside and show respect.
It was incredibly challenging. It took me a week or two to find the rhythm again. And I was constantly questioning myself. I kept on thinking, Sonja, is 6 months a good time to start asking why, how, or what if? And then I realized this is the first time I was actually thinking on a physical level. And then I had to stop myself from asking those questions, and I had to re-step into those shoes that I'd been walking in for 6 months. And then I had to realize, but you're carrying all these people and all these stories, and you know that there are more stories waiting, you know that they're waiting, and it doesn't matter that you're tired. The people will carry you.